I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psych Hacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is, if it's worth doing. If you grew up in the United States, you probably know the rest of this saying. That is, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And absolutely, there is some truth to that. It's generally a positive force to strive after perfection. And there are certain things that absolutely shouldn't even be attempted if you're not willing to do them with a high degree of competence. Brain surgery and deep sea exploration come to mind. That's because even a small error in each of these endeavors could frustrate the entire project. That said, I've come to adopt a different view of this adage as I've grown older. And before I tell you what that is, please be sure to like this episode and subscribe to this channel. It takes less than a second, costs you nothing, and it's how you can demonstrate your own commitment to excellence. So, do the thing. As I was saying, nowadays, I see things a little differently. That is, I now believe that if something is worth doing, it's worth doing poorly. Let me try to make an argument in defense of this reframe. Sometimes people are prevented from taking positive or constructive action because of their own perfectionistic tendencies. And these inactions and hesitations over time can have a substantially deleterious impact on people's lives and well-being. Let's take a concrete example. I think we can all agree that exercising and being physically fit is something worth doing. Well, if that's true, then it's worth doing badly. That is, it's worth doing even if you're not going to get shredded and end up with six-pack abs. It's worth doing even if you're not going to break any records for speed or strength or distance. And even exercising once a week, which isn't all that good, is probably better than not exercising at all. If something is worth doing, it's worth doing poorly because these poor attempts can accumulate over time and create significant progress, or at least delay significant decay. A lot of the difficulties that people encounter in their lives are directly attributable to their tendency to discount small improvements. One push-up does not make you strong. Dieting for 1 week does not make you thin. Working for 1 month doesn't make you rich. Because there is no immediate positive reinforcement for their efforts, people tend to minimize and discount these constructive actions. And I think that's ultimately to their detriment. By the same token, because there is no immediate negative punishment for their inaction, people tend to minimize and discount their non-constructive evasions. And what happens? Put two and two together, and the bad tends to accumulate while the good goes neglected. This is why I believe that if something is worth doing, do it sloppily, do it infrequently, do it imperfectly, do it poorly, but do it anyway. Why? Because it's worth doing. In many cases, a little of a good thing is preferable to none of a better. And I believe this principle holds true at all levels of analysis, from individual health all the way to the fate of humanity. What do you think? Let me know your comments in the section below, and thank you for listening.